The American dream? It shimmered in the manicured lawns and sparkled on the freshly washed cars. Sunlight glinted off pristine windows. The air was sweet with the scent of freshly cut grass and blooming hydrangeas. Children's laughter echoed through the quiet streets. This was Maplewood Drive, a perfect slice of Americana, a place where nothing bad ever happened, or so everyone thought. The houses, all grand and welcoming, stood like sentinels guarding their inhabitants' secrets. They whispered tales of family dinners, birthday parties, and holiday gatherings. But beneath the veneer of normalcy, something dark festered. A secret life was about to unravel, shattering the illusion of perfection. This was a place where people trusted their neighbors. They left their doors unlocked and their children played freely in the streets. But the truth, as it often does, lay hidden in plain sight, and it was about to explode with the force of a bombshell. At the heart of it all lived Patricia Edwards, known affectionately as Patty. She was the glue that held the Edwards family together, a beacon of warmth and kindness in their suburban enclave. Her warm smile and infectious laugh were as much a fixture of Maplewood Drive as the oak trees lining its sidewalks. Patty's presence was felt by everyone, from the mailman to the neighborhood kids who adored her. Patty was the quintessential suburban mother. She managed the household with grace and efficiency, ensuring that every detail was perfect, from the neatly trimmed hedges to the spotless kitchen. She was the president of the PTA, a regular volunteer at the local soup kitchen, and always had a plate of freshly baked cookies for new neighbors. Patty's dedication to her community was unwavering, and she was often seen organizing events and fundraisers. Her husband Robert was a successful lawyer, the epitome of ambition and drive. He worked long hours, often bringing work home, but always made time for his family. He was a respected member of the community, known for his sharp intellect and dedication to his family. Robert's colleagues admired his work ethic, and his children looked up to him as a role model. Together, they were the envy of all their neighbors, a handsome couple living a charmed life. Their love for each other was evident in the way they interacted, always supportive and caring. Their two children, Emily and Ethan, were the picture of youthful innocence. They were well-mannered, polite, and excelled in their respective interests. Emily, with her bright eyes and infectious giggle, excelled in school and ballet. She was a natural performer, always eager to showcase her talents at recitals and school plays. Ethan, the spitting image of his father, was a star athlete, excelling in soccer and Little League. His competitive spirit and determination made him a standout on the field. The Edwards family was the very embodiment of the American dream. They were a close-knit unit, always supporting each other and celebrating their successes together. They were living proof that hard work, dedication, and good values could lead to a life of happiness and fulfillment. Their home was filled with laughter, love, and the promise of a bright future. But beneath the surface of their perfect life, cracks were beginning to show. The pressures of maintaining their idyllic facade were starting to take a toll, revealing the hidden struggles and unspoken tensions that lay just beneath the surface. Life in Maplewood Drive revolved around community events. There were summer barbecues, Halloween costume contests, and Christmas caroling. The air was always filled with laughter and the aroma of delicious food. Children ran freely, their giggles echoing through the streets while adults bonded over shared stories and experiences. It was a place where everyone knew each other, and every event was a celebration of togetherness. Patty Edwards was always at the center of it all, organizing, delegating, and ensuring everyone felt included. Her energy was infectious, and her dedication to the community was unparalleled. She had a knack for bringing people together, making sure no one ever felt left out. Whether it was a small gathering or a large festival, Patty's touch was evident in every detail. She was the glue that held their little world together. Her presence was a constant source of comfort and stability. People often said that without Patty, Maplewood Drive wouldn't be the same. She had a way of making everyone feel like they belonged, creating a sense of unity that was rare in today's world. But whispers began to circulate. At first they were just faint murmurs, easily dismissed as idle gossip. However, as days turned into weeks, the whispers grew louder, more insistent. People began to exchange knowing glances, their conversations taking on a more secretive tone. It was as if a shadow had fallen over the community, casting doubt and suspicion, subtle, almost imperceptible at first, like the rustling of leaves on a windless day. The changes were so slight that many didn't notice them at all. But for those who were paying attention, it was clear that something was amiss. The once vibrant and lively atmosphere of Maplewood Drive seemed to be fading, replaced by an undercurrent of unease. People noticed a change in Patty's demeanor. She seemed more withdrawn, her usual spark dimmed. Her laughter, once so genuine and infectious, now seemed forced. Friends and neighbors began to worry, wondering what could have caused such a shift in the woman who had always been their pillar of strength. Her smile seemed strained, her eyes shadowed with worry. It was as if she was carrying a burden too heavy to bear. The community, always so close-knit, began to feel the strain of her unspoken troubles. Conversations that were once filled with joy and laughter now carried an edge of concern and uncertainty. There were hushed conversations about the Edwards' financial troubles. Rumors spread quickly, each one more sensational than the last. People speculated about the reasons behind Patty's change, their imaginations running wild with possibilities. The once harmonious community was now divided by suspicion and doubt, whispers about Robert's struggling law firm and their mounting debts. The Edwards, who had always seemed so secure and prosperous, were now the subject of endless speculation. The financial strain was evident, and it was clear that the family was struggling to keep up appearances. The gossip spread like wildfire, fueled by speculation and conjecture. Every new piece of information, whether true or not, was eagerly devoured and passed along. The community, once so united, was now fractured by the very rumors that had once seemed so harmless. Some felt sympathy for the Edwards family, while others reveled in their misfortune. It was a stark reminder of how quickly fortunes could change and how fragile the bonds of community could be. The Edwards' plight became a cautionary tale, a reminder that no one was immune to hardship. The perfect facade was beginning to crumble, revealing the secrets that lay beneath. The image of the perfect family, so carefully maintained, was now shattered. The truth, once hidden, was now laid bare for all to see. It was a painful revelation, one that left the community reeling. And then, there were the strange occurrences. Odd, inexplicable events that seemed to defy explanation. It was as if the very fabric of Maplewood Drive was unraveling, one thread at a time. The once peaceful neighborhood was now a place of mystery and uncertainty. Small at first, easily dismissed, a missing dog, a vandalized mailbox, incidents that on their own seemed trivial. But together, they painted a picture of a community in turmoil. The sense of safety and security that had once defined Maplewood Drive was now a distant memory. But then, a string of more serious incidents began to plague Maplewood Drive. Acts of vandalism, theft, and even violence. The community, once so serene, was now a place of fear and uncertainty. The police were called in, but even their presence couldn't restore the sense of peace that had been lost. Incidents that would soon send shockwaves through the community and beyond. The story of Maplewood Drive became a cautionary tale, a reminder of how quickly things could change. The once idyllic neighborhood was now a place of mystery and intrigue, its secrets laid bare for all to see. Despite the whispers and the growing unease, the Edwards family remained a united front. They were often seen holding hands at church, cheering on their children at sporting events, and enjoying family dinners at their usual table by the window at the corner cafe. They were a family that loved each other, a fact that no one could deny. Robert, despite the pressures of his failing business, continued to be a loving husband and father. He worked tirelessly to provide for his family, hoping to shield them from the harsh realities of their financial situation. Patty, though clearly carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders, never faltered in her devotion to her children. She continued to bake cookies, attend school plays, and tuck them in at night, whispering stories of love and hope. Their bond, forged in love and tested by adversity, seemed unbreakable. But the truth, as it often does, was far more complicated. The secrets Patty harbored ran deep, threatening to destroy the very foundation of her family's happiness. Maintaining their lifestyle became increasingly difficult. The once comfortable life they had built was now crumbling under the weight of financial strain. The weight of unpaid bills pressed down on Patty. Each envelope she opened seemed to add another layer of stress, another sleepless night. The once overflowing bank account dwindled. Every transaction, every withdrawal felt like a step closer to the edge of a cliff. The threat of losing everything, their home, their status, their perfect life, loomed over her. The fear of foreclosure was a constant shadow, darkening even the brightest days. The whispers about their financial troubles grew louder. It seemed like everyone in the neighborhood knew about their struggles, and the gossip was relentless. Patty felt the judgment in the eyes of her neighbors. Every glance, every whisper felt like a dagger, piercing her already fragile confidence. The once friendly smiles seemed to hold a hint of pity, a coldness that sent shivers down her spine. The warmth of the community had turned into an icy barrier. She had to do something, anything, to protect her family from ruin. The thought of her children's suffering was unbearable, and she knew she had to act. Driven by desperation and blinded by love, Patty made a fateful decision. She reached out to anyone who might help, crafting a plan that was as risky as it was necessary. A decision that would lead her down a dark and dangerous path with no turning back. Each step she took felt heavier, each choice more irreversible. A path that would ultimately expose the truth about the woman behind the perfect smile. The facade she had maintained for so long was beginning to crack. The first step was innocent enough. A small loan from a friend, just to tide them over until things got better. A small loan from a friend, then another, and another. Each time the promise to repay was sincere, but the reality was far more complicated. Soon, Patty found herself entangled in a web of deceit, borrowing from anyone who would lend her money. The lies she told to cover her tracks became more elaborate, but it was never enough. The more she borrowed, the deeper the hole she dug for herself and her family. The hole she was digging only grew deeper. The weight of her decisions pressed down on her, and the escape she sought seemed further away than ever. As the pressure mounted, Patty's life became a carefully constructed facade. She continued to play the part of the perfect wife and mother, attending school events and volunteering at the church. But behind her smile, a darkness grew. Unbeknownst to her family and friends, Patty had begun leading a double life. She started associating with individuals she would never have imagined crossing paths with, people who operated in the shadows, who dealt in secrets and danger. These clandestine meetings took place in dimly lit bars and deserted parking lots. Patty, once a beacon of light and warmth, now moved through the darkness with a newfound confidence, her desperation fueling her every move. She learned the art of deception, mastering the ability to lie with conviction, to manipulate those around her. She became a mistress of disguise, her outward persona a stark contrast to the woman she was becoming.